They say you're your biggest enemy, but you should be your biggest fan. Sup peeps, my name is Kirbz, but you guys can call me Kirbz, and this is Kickback with Kirbz. Today we're going to be talking about 3 areas that you should be working on daily that'll help you invest in yourself. These areas that I'm talking about are also going to be areas that successful and wealthy people also focus on in their day-to-day lives for them to be successful. So this is helping you turn yourself more into an asset just like those who are successful do. Let's go. That we're going to be talking about are going to be touching on the mental, physical, and emotional realms in people's lives. In those areas, we're going to be talking about 3 subcategories in each. So let's start. Starting off with mental, the 3 subcategories we're going to be diving into are going to be knowledge, mental health, and meditation. When we're talking about knowledge, I'm not just talking about book smarts. I'm talking about knowledge that you can gain all around you. You should be addicted to yearning knowledge because it's all around you. Successful people never stop studying their crafts or learning new things because they know that they don't know everything. And they also try to surround themselves with people who know a little more from them so that they can gain stuff from them. People are a resource, so don't squander them. If you enjoy baking, you can look into different recipes and techniques that you can do so that you can be a better baker. If you want to go into chemistry, you're obviously going to need to know the periodic table like the front and back of your hand. And you should also be up to date on different researches and discoveries out there. Never stop looking into things that you don't know because it'll get you steps closer to being successful and achieving your goals. Moving on to mental health. Mental health is very important because it can affect a lot of things such as your physical health. If you ever feel depressed, you might not always feel the need to get up and get clean or fix up your appearance, which can, in a sense, depreciate yourself as an asset. If you ever feel like something's not completely right, you should seek those who can help you or those who can reach out to others to find you official help. Now, I know there's a stigma around mental health. That's just because we're not talking about it enough or we keep putting negative connotations on it. As said by Sarah Brown on lifehack.org, stigma begets shame. Shame begets destructive behaviors. Destructive behaviors beget a deterioration of the self. So if you feel like your mental health isn't completely there, talk to those that you can trust and those who can also help you seek others in the medical fields or anywhere that you feel it's best for you to get that assistance. Lastly, for mental, we're going to be talking about meditation. Meditation has been proven to actually help with your mental health and retaining memory. It's been seen that a study by the University of Wisconsin have found that in meditation, the part of your brain that has to do with stress and anxiety actually shrinks. In that moment when you're meditating, it's not always just crossing your legs and going om every 5 seconds. It's just basically being in a state of relaxation where things can't distract you so you can focus on yourself. Breathing, thinking, all that good stuff. In that moment of focusing on yourself, you're able to register things individually and more readily than normal. From that experience of focusing on specific things, you can take it and use it in the real world when it comes to conversations so that you can focus on everything that someone is saying to take in the information. Being able to relax, meditate, and focus on yourself is very important to make sure that you are ready to go in your day-to-day life. Now moving on to physical. We're going to be talking about exercise, eating, and water. As I've stated before, exercising releases endorphins to make you feel better, but it's also been proven that those of a higher class and the wealthier and rich people, they make sure to integrate exercising every day. It's been seen that 76% of wealthy individuals actually make sure they get at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise done daily. This can be walks, jogging, just getting your heart pumping to release those endorphins to give you a more refreshed feel. Moving on to eating. Just like a car needs fuel, you need food. It's been proven that having a regular eating habit can actually reduce your chances of chronic disease. It can also reduce your chances for obesity. In the United States, it's been stated that 1/3 of adults are obese, and then 17% of adolescents are as well. In order to make sure that you're combating this, you can focus on your eating. Now, I'm not talking about dieting because people keep saying that dieting is reducing something that you're eating. A diet is just what you're eating in general. If you're talking about an animal, for example, let's say a gorilla, they're herbivores because they eat plants. That's their diet. plants. How I'd recommend you eat is breakfast like a king, brunch like a queen, and leave dinner to princess. What this means is basically your portion size. When it comes to eating, it's easier for your body to process that food throughout the day if you have it in the beginning, because you can work it off and your body has more time. If you're leaving a fat meal to like 9 or 10 or very late at night, your body doesn't have that time to take in all the nutrition and then cannot process it properly. If you've ever been to eloquent, fancy restaurants, you've noticed their portion size aren't freaking huge. That's because they understand that eating certain portions is better for you so you can digest all of it. But Kirby, I have a slow metabolism, I can't eat that much. I'm gonna blow up. What you can do then is break down your meals into smaller eating portions. For example, you wake up, you can get a snack if you don't always feel like eating food that early. Then you wait a little bit and then you eat a bigger meal. Then after that, another snack. Then after that, you go for your little brunch like a queen. Next snack, then dinner, done. This is to help your body over time process the small amounts of foods that you're eating and then pick up your metabolism. To close off physical, we're gonna talk about water. Water is very important and your body is made up of a lot of it. It's been said that the human body is made up about 60% of water. And this is mainly because organs that are very vital run off of them. When it comes to your brain and your heart, it requires 73% of water. And then when it comes to your lungs, it's 83% of water. It is so important to stay hydrated to make sure that your body can function properly. Now, the amount of water you should be drinking every day kind of varies. Apparently, from the USGS, which is the science agency for the Department of Interior, it states that the average male should be drinking around 3 liters of water, and that the average female should be drinking 2.1 liters of water. It varies for people and you'll get to see which one is best for you. And doctors sometimes recommend just to drink water when you're thirsty, but just make sure you get that water in. Also, another cool thing about water is when you drink the right amount of it, it actually decreases your cravings for food. So sometimes, you know how you get hungry out of nowhere, but you're not really hungry, like you're mentally hungry? In that state, try to drink some water. And then it might actually suppress that appetite that you're not really hungry, it's just your brain trying to trick your stomach. Lastly, we're going to be talking about the emotional aspect, which is talking about dwelling on the past, having a support group, and forgiving yourself and others. Successful people don't dwell on the past. They look forward to the future. Dwelling on the past also is very negative for your life, and I'll give you some reasons why. It can ruin relationships. For example, if you're in a current relationship with somebody and keep comparing them to your past ex or, significant other, that can create butting heads and also ruin your relationship. You should be looking at things in the moment and comparing them for what they are. If they're not good for you, then they're not good for you. But you shouldn't constantly be comparing two things that don't necessarily need to be compared. Also, it's a waste of time. Why constantly think about things that you did when you were younger when you can be thinking about things that you can do now in the present that will help you for the future? It's good to reflect on the past every now and then to understand that you can change things for a better outcome. You can look back to see what you did and then tweak it so you can get a better result the next time. Now we're going to talk about support groups. It's been said that you are the average of the 5 closest people to you. That is why it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals who are trying to bring you up as well. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he mentions this thing called mastermind groups. They are basically accountability groups for people who are all trying to accomplish something. They come together and make sure that everyone gets what they said they're going to get done. They can accomplish and set these goals for each week, each month, each year. They just need a timestamp and someone being on them to make sure that they do it. So I recommend you get some of your good buddies around and then you guys make your own mastermind group to make sure that you all succeed. Successful people come together and support each other all the time. So why don't you think you should? Get your people and rise to the top together. And lastly, we're going to touch on forgiving yourself and others. Now, life is a roller coaster and it's not always fair. But that doesn't mean you should be beating yourself up about something that you've already done when you could be pushing to do something better now. Holding on to all that guilt and frustration is just going to be a baggage. It's going to weigh yourself down. To move forward, you have to look back at what you've done and forgive yourself. Or if you feel that someone else has put you in that situation, take the time to forgive them. Not saying to forget just so that you can remember how you got into that situation and can avoid it the next time, but to understand that holding on to all that negativity is not going to help you. You have to let it go. I've heard from famous people and CEO about their troubled past or roadblocks that were put in front of them when they were beginning their careers. But look where they are now. because they were able to forgive themselves and the others that have put them in that situation so that they can go further. All in all, what I'm trying to say is you should be your biggest fan. You should be cheering yourself on as you accomplish these things so that you can end up being successful because you've invested in yourself. It's not going to be a yellow brick road to get there. There's going to be a lot of bumps and curves and twists and turns, but you gotta keep going. Pain is only temporary, and you're the only person who can stop yourself from actually doing something. The renowned public speaker Les Brown once said, "If you fall, fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You can go further as long as you keep pushing yourself, keep cheering yourself on, because you are the only person who knows your true potential." All right, my dudes, that's all we have today. Hopefully you've learned a lot so that you can start investing in yourself so you can go to that road for success. Remember the 3 areas we went over. The first one being mental, which was knowledge, mental health, and meditation. Moving then on to physical, which had to do with exercising, eating, and water. And then closing it off with emotional, which had to do with not dwelling in the past, creating a support group, and forgiving yourself and others so that you can push forward. If you like this video and would like to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you think I did a good job, give me a thumbs up so I know how I'm doing. But until next time, adios for now.